What if I told you that the first true world war happened in the 1700s, long before tanks or airplanes existed? The 7 Years' War was fought on 5 continents and decided which empires would rule the modern world. It began not in Europe, but in the forests of North America. Their British and French colonists were already fighting over land and trade long before Europe officially went to war. Both empires wanted control of the Ohio River Valley. It was the gateway to the interior of the continent and a source of enormous economic power. In 1754, a young British officer named George Washington led a small force into the region. A skirmish broke out with French troops. That single clash ignited a global conflict. In Europe, the balance of power was already fragile. Britain was the dominant naval power. France was its main rival. Prussia had recently become a rising military force. Austria wanted revenge for land it had lost to Prussia. Old alliances collapsed. New ones formed. Britain allied with Prussia. France allied with Austria and Russia. This diplomatic reversal shocked Europe and set the stage for war on an enormous scale. The fighting spread across the globe. In North America, it was called the French and Indian War. In Europe, it was a massive clash between professional armies. In India, it was a struggle between British and French trading companies backed by soldiers. The British strategy focused on using their navy to cut off French supply lines. They captured key ports and colonies. They slowly strangled the French Empire. On land, Prussia fought for its survival. Frederick the Great was surrounded by enemies. Austria, Russia, and France. All wanted to destroy Prussia. Against overwhelming odds, Frederick used speed, discipline, and brilliant battlefield tactics to keep fighting. Several times his kingdom was on the brink of collapse. Then events in Russia suddenly saved him when the Russian emperor died and was replaced by a Prussia-friendly ruler. Meanwhile, British forces captured Canada from France. They took control of India. They seized islands in the Caribbean. By 1763, France had lost most of its overseas empire. Britain had become the dominant global power. The Treaty of Paris ended the war. France gave up Canada and much of its territory. Spain lost Florida to Britain. Prussia was recognized as a great power, but the war also created massive debt. Britain was deeply in debt and turned to taxing its American colonies to pay for the war. That decision would lead directly to the American Revolution. France, humiliated and financially drained, would later support the American rebels. That debt would help trigger the French Revolution. The 7 Years' War reshaped the world. It decided who would control North America, India, and global trade. It created the British Empire as the dominant force of the 19th century. It also proved something dangerous. When empires compete for power and profit, local conflicts can ignite global wars. The 7 Years' War was not just about territory. It was about control of the future. Welcome to Information Arbitrage. Outthink the crowd.